honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. First, open up with the more Shemaitan prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through His holy Prophet Drew Ali. Amen. First, all rise, giving perfect praises to Allah, the Infinite, the one who deserves all praises and all glory, Allah, the Father of the universe. Honors to the divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius. Honors to the forerunner of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Brother Marcus Messiah Garvey Bey, who spoke to the people of the Negroes who started the UNIA, saying that a person with nationality is like a tree without roots. So, I guess we have a lot of tree without roots going on here. People are lawless. People have no idea what they're getting themselves into. Today's show today is about fake relationships. Common people will never have any idea what I mean by that. DJ Cool, appreciate that. Yeah, so fake relationship. It all goes down to a decision that needs to be made. Young boy meets young girl, young man meets young woman. They have an eye for each other. They seem to be connected in some way, form, or fashion. Perhaps maybe the past life, perhaps ancient times, who knows. But it just seems a little far-fetched that a lot of people think that boyfriend and girlfriend is like a sign of obligation in marriage. And I think that's a serious issue because there's no contract involved. There's no obligation ceremony. It's just two people talking who really truly don't know themselves and really truly don't know who they are. A lot of people are being denationalized at the time of birth, but yet and still the culture could be eating scavenger food and cussing like, you know what I'm saying, using profanity or whatever, and, you know, dropping your pants, sagging, and the word sagging backwards is niggas. So, I'm not saying that to desecrate anyone's character, but I'm going to call the facts what it is. We have these sisters out here who are just straight dressing like harlots, like prostitutes. So, with that being said, we really have to focus on the problem, because in order to have a good relationship with another person, the first good relationship, as I said in my show about relationships, is it all starts back at home. You're being taught how to communicate, how to say what you like, what you don't like, you know, these things of that nature. And we really have to pinpoint the problem where it all came from. So since we understand this modern day Jim Crow society and this fake courtship, and I'm going to get into all of that, you know what I mean? It doesn't really satisfy who you are as a person because you found someone. Some people meet their spouse in high school and they later get married and then have 20, 30 years of 40 plus years of marriage. And that's a rare situation in this day and time. Because mothers and fathers are not being mothers and fathers. They want to still play hooky. You know what I'm saying? They still want to go out and be promiscuous. They want to have multiple partners. You know what I mean? And multiple people that they sleep with, whether it be the same sex, opposite sex, your dog, your cat, your neighbor's dog or cat, the child next door, or some type of bestiality. And the common people are so far fetched or being detached from what a relationship truly is. It's because you get all this media, cell phone media, iPod media, iPad media. You got your computer, you got your television, you got all these 100-something channels and all that what has to offer. And yet and still, you're watching all these reality TV shows, and it's all scripted. It's all scripted like the actors, the politicians, and so on and so on. Until you understand what game the powers that be are playing, we are actually a pawn in their game. Whether we have mothers and fathers who gangbang, or we have mothers and fathers who gangbang the right way and take care of the household and making sure the children eat and being revolutionary, being militant. That's what really is really truly about. Is looking out for your family and any distant family that you have interacted with in the past that has a good history with. But if your foundation is frail, it's going to be hard to have a good relationship, because all one's is doing is repeating what they have already saw what their father and mother have already done. Mama don't drink, Papa drinks. So what does daughter see? A husband. Okay, but he drinks and smokes and all that stuff. So he's repeating what she see her father has done. And that's who she chooses as a husband. Yes, he may be a good provider, but only a person can be a good provider for so long, being drunk on fiery, intoxicating drinks and smoking that poison. So when people are so far detached from reality to be able to raise their children properly and demonstrate that love and demonstrate that strength, then people choose to debase themselves from their mother and father because their foundation is frail, but yet and still they don't have a foundation themselves. All they do is church and you know what I'm saying, eat the worst food ever, fried catfish and fried chicken and potato salad and all that starch, and you wonder why your children in your household is dysfunctional, because there is no type of limitations to what you offer your children. Your children are learning a relationship as they get older, and they see how mother and father act, or mother or so-called father who is not married, you know what I'm saying, no obligation contract whatsoever, you know what I'm saying, they just play hooky, play house or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and that kind of like leads to the downfall of the next generation. And a lot of people still don't understand it, or they don't see it. It's being overlooked, or it's underlooked, or it's too far-fetched where a person can't even grasp the understanding of marriage. But yet and still, how many of y'all out there who are like me, who got an auntie who talks about marriage, but she ain't never been married a day in her life? You can't talk about something that you never about, that you have never done. You could talk about Africa all you want, but you ain't been there. You could talk about Moorish science and Moorish culture, but you ain't never been to a temple. You can sit here and talk about the different types of religions in Christianity, but you never set foot in a church to understand what their teachings are, or what their indoctrination may be, or the Ku Klux Klan of how they demonstrate under the Masonic and Eastern Stars and so on and so on. But we don't understand the fundamental. We don't know what the Confederate banner really truly means. We think that's some so-called white man's demonstration. But this is how media plays a role in relationships. And fake relationships is what they put on TV for you to see how it should be and how it should be this, and you go mimic that. Boyfriend and girlfriend, I'm sorry, you cannot put that on a job application. Nor you cannot put that on any application. You can't even put domestic partner because it doesn't exist. It's not law. Now, when are the brothers and sisters going to start opening up their eyes saying that, oh, I got a boyfriend, blah, 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 and I'm with him and he's the only one I need, but yet and still, you still gazing eyes and at other men and try to see how many scores of men you can get and being promiscuous. But the amount of men you slept with, you don't even know who the child's father is. And this is where the problem comes in. It's so quick to jump into bed, but yet still you don't know yourself. You are lost. You're a lost soul. You're a dead person walking. You just doing whatever the fad is, whatever the style is. You want to go get your little fake eyelashes. You want to go get your fake hair. You want to dress provocative and promiscuous, sisters. And the brothers who want to act like sisters, you ain't no different. Because you wonder why you got a 187 on your forehead. You wonder why you got a bullseye on there because you pretend to be a woman and you ain't. You want to lie and deceive the people just like a Jezebel. Just like the King Herod. They wanted to see the people, and look what happened to them. One got pushed out the window and got stampeded by horses and got eaten by dogs. The other one got struck by lightning. So is this who your people are of Israel? This is something you need to think about. I'm going to keep demonstrating until I get the time, and I will go into the chat and I'll give my shout outs. Islam, peace and love. So this whole sleeping around, prostitute, faking husband and all that stuff, this stuff has been going on for over 10,000 years. Why are you going to be messing with someone that you proclaim that's your husband, but you're not even married to him? You're falsifying a relationship that has not been ordained by Allah himself, but has been ordained by the devil. That's the devil's teaching. The devil teaches you and I that boyfriend and girlfriend is a relationship and is a domestic partner for life. There is no such thing. When man looks upon a woman and he sees a good thing in her, he sees a man who seeks a wife seeks a good thing. That's what the Bible teaches us. The Holy Quran of Mecca teaches us in the Al-Nisa that the husband is to protect his wife. Protection is equal to love. Love is equal to protection. So if you protect your wife, that means you'll protect your children because you are the helper of giver of life. Or should I say you're the helpmate of giver of life. Brother man, brother husband who has his wife, and the wife is a giver of life. You ain't gonna hear from nobody else, but you're gonna hear from your brother Moore's life today. Because this is how I roll. This is what I think. This is what I know. This is what I ponder on. I ponder on the relationship of my mother and father. Yes, they were married. Praise Allah. Honor to all the mothers and fathers out there who were in the church and had no choice. Honor to them who paved the way for a brother man like me to be in the temple of the Moorish Science of America. being a good candidate and being a good Moorish American Muslim, being a good Sheikh, to be able to give you all these lessons. Honest to all the membership. Honest to everything that is Moorish, and we are Moors, and we love Moorish science. We are more, and we accept nothing less. So calling us a Negro, black, or colored is desecration and defamation of character and slander. Moors will never be black, and blacks will never be Moors. Black is a low vibration thinking. Moor is a high vibration thinking. Moorish, we have the 5 highest principles known to man: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Negro, blacks, and color have hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harms. So you cannot mix the two. You cannot call somebody a black or Moor, nor you can call somebody black American. It's the same thing. It's being redundant. When are my brothers and sisters going to understand that in your younger years you seek a good sister right here, and she's definitely a good advocate for a wife? You have met mother and father, vice versa, or aunties and uncles, family reunions, etc., etc. They like you a lot. They embrace you. They embrace you like their own. Vice versa for the young lady. They embrace her like their own. So what do? They have a family gathering on both sides of the family. The other family meets the other family. It's all good. It's all as well. They're a strong force, and they are not the force to be reckoned with. So they may have 9 on their side of the family. They may have 9 on the other side of the family. They have 12 on one side of the family. They have 10 on the other side of the family. That's a strong force. But while in the midst of learning of how to be responsible, is also learning how to be a husband. From a young man, from a young boy, to a young man, to a grown man, from a young girl, to a young woman, to a grown woman. She is trained on what the do's and don'ts as a grown woman, and holding responsibility and holding herself accountable for her unjust deeds. And he does the same, and he's being held accountable for his unjust deeds. Therefore, there's no friction in the household. Right? Yes, there's going to be some disagreements. Come on now. You think life is supposed to be without disagreements? I think not. Without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength. Without trials and tribulations, you won't even know how to navigate through life and deal with life's lump sums of problems, because these things are a test to you. Your higher self is a test to you, like your lower self is a test to you. Your higher self, and I'll explain, is the mother of the virtues and the harmonies of the life that breeds love, mercy, just, and right, which is the first, which is the truth. Now the other is falsehood, which breeds hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harms. It's just the lower self, which is the last thing. So there's only 2 things in the world: is truth and falsehood. Until we can understand those foundation of fundamentals of life, then we can be able to navigate and say, okay, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to premeditate what I'm going to do before I do it. I'm going to think it through, make sure it's the right decision before I harm myself or do some type of self-sabotage. These are the things that you must understand. These are the things you have to contemplate on. If you want to know anything about relationships, the best thing is to do is don't run to your friends. They don't know. Don't run to your peon friends. Don't run to your kuffar friends, because your friends don't know nothing about relationships. The one who knows more about relationships is your grandmom and your grandpops, if you have them around, if they exist. Because a lot of people don't even know who their grandmother or grandfather is. A lot of them don't even know who their mother or father is. They're adopted, or they just left astray on the street and surviving on their own and doing it themselves and doing it the best way they know how to, and don't have no adult supervision. So Allah is leading these ones on, but victory is sure. All right, I'm gonna take a pause for this demonstration, and I'm gonna go into the chat and see who we have in the chat. Nigeria Experience said hi. Islam, heaven high, peace and blessing. Hamster Warlord says hi. Heaven high, Islam, peace and blessing. And this, everything I'm about to say, this is what Hamster Warlord said. I am your master. I am in your thoughts. Power is everything. You know who controls it, right? You're actually wise. It's a script. No, you're not my master. You never will be. Hamster Warlord, and you're not in my thoughts because you don't know what my thoughts are. What the problem is in society is we have people who think they can read minds. Some people can do that. Some people have that power to do so. To a certain degree, I have that power to do so, but I don't exercise it because it's pointless. But at the end of the day, what are you doing today that you didn't do yesterday to make sure you do everything correctly, to make sure you uplift someone else, to make sure you bring happiness to someone else? Oh, snap. Oh, I stand corrected. Islam. We have Venom 77. Hi. Islam. Venom 77. Islam. Peace and blessings. Heaven high to you as well. I'm giving you a shout out. We really are so far behind in society to the point where we don't even know what we say what our likes and dislikes are, but we lose our morals to please someone else's ideology. But yet and still, that's a force to reckon with. You can't lose yourself in someone else's thinking, because that means you become a slave to someone else's thinking. It's already been going on since the Jim Crow times, but yet and still, there's still brothers and sisters out there who still call themselves Negro, black, and color folk. More like black than African American or Afro American. I can never understand those titles, and no, I'm sorry, black families are divided. There's no unity because everybody has their own state of mind. Everybody has their own purpose. Some people want to be this person. Some people want to be that person. But one thing that people fail to be when they look at TV is they fail to be themselves. They choose to be other than what they are. So this is where the alteration comes in. This is where the saggy pants come in for the men, young men, and the young women who call themselves studs. I don't understand it. It don't make any sense to me. It never will, and no, I will not go in on it because it doesn't make sense. I can never sit here and understand or try to figure out how can you be of the same sex or the same gender. I stand correct, same gender, but you got to go to a sperm bank to reproduce yourself. Wow. So that means two dudes gonna need a surrogate mother to have a baby, right? Okay, well, wow, dang. Or adopt. That's not your child, and it didn't come from the woman. It came from another woman. This society is so far backwards on relationships. It's just, it goes beyond me sometimes. I know it's demonic. That's real. So to you be about yours, and to me be about mine. I know that if family meet the other family, they agree that the child should be together with between man and woman, then the relationship is a fact. Then on top of that, the courtship has already started. Once the courtship has already started, that means that we got two different families that are going to be looking out for each other. But when my son come over there, you guys look out for him. My daughter comes over there, y'all look out for him. And they're going to have each other's contact number too. They're going to be in touch. Checking in. How you doing? How's your day? I just noticed your daughter was doing da-da-da-da. And, I'm going to deal with that. Appreciate it. Thank you. Click. And go get scolded. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, for real. How is someone going to sit here talking about, I'm in a relationship, but yet and still you don't know the mother, the father, the auntie, the uncle, the cousins, etc., brothers and sisters? I mean, come on now. You got Uncle Jailbird Joey who's been locked up and he ain't getting out. You ain't met him yet either. But you so called in love, but love does not make you do wrong. Love makes you protect yourself and protect your interest. If someone does not fit your criteria of being with, then you're wasting your time. Others can sit here and debate with me all they want. I don't care. Okay, so this is the difference between boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife. So if boyfriend gets into a car accident and his girlfriend goes to the hospital and say pull the plug, there's no documentation that they're in a relationship. Now, let's turn the table to the husband and wife. The husband said, "Look, I'm damaged. I don't want to be here. Here's my will. I will this to you. I will that to you. I will everything to you and to our children. And I don't want to be here. I put it in the writing. I signed that. I declare that I want you to pull the plug. I don't want to be here. I don't want to suffer. Okay, here's the will is being signed. Everything's good. Everything, all is well. Next thing you know, the wife goes with the husband's orders and goes pull the plug. Her and the children get everything. You see what I'm saying? But versus the boyfriend and girlfriend, they can't do nothing because they're not on the record. And that's a fake relationship. I'm going to call the facts what it is. Y'all can sit here and debate with me all you want, and I don't give a I don't give a care. I really don't. So, why is it that a very skilled husband and a very skilled wife have a lot more to offer each other than versus a boyfriend girlfriend? And I'm going to explain why. First and foremost, the wife knows how to cook, clean, sew, bake. She knows how to make clothes. She's a seamstress. She knows how to plant food. She knows how to cook nutritious food. The husband knows how to use an edger, a lawnmower. He can fix cars, pull up carpet, plumbing, you name it. This man is a jack of all trades. This man is better than Nike. He just do it. Versus a young boy who's in high school. He's a young prince in training. He don't know what the Sultan know. Who's highly skilled. Who know hand-to-hand combat. He can defend his wife. Defend his children. Like it says in Al-Nisa, the Quran, that the husband is supposed to protect his wife. So what is the boyfriend doing for his girlfriend? What does he have to offer? He don't know anything because he wasn't taught anything. All he told was to gratify his lower self and his fetishes. Yeah, he goes to work, but he only on limited income. She go to work too. He's on limited income. So how is both of their incomes gonna come together to be able to get some land? Explain that. Yeah, and still you still living in someone else's neighborhood. You're renting a room, so to speak, but yet still you have no financial responsibility because you're still living on your mother or father, auntie, uncle, whoever it may be. You still lost to the sauce. You, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. So if boyfriend don't have no credit or he got bad credit, then how you gonna give your girlfriend a place to stay and she got bad credit too? Come on now. Think about it. You don't have a car, you can't get to and from. You still living on your family, but yet still you want to act like you're married. Please explain to me how valid is boyfriend and girlfriend versus husband and wife. How is that more just as just or valid than being a husband and wife and having skills? Being trained to be able to know and understand situations and conditions. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people don't care to know this. A lot of people want to do all the sign language. You know what I'm saying? Like they deaf, like they gang banging and stuff. I mean, come on now. You think gang banging is a life? Oh, she think you cute because you gang banging. Okay, so that's how you feel, right? So gang banging is a life. You go kill somebody, gonna come around and kill you too. What goes around comes around. But yet still, you don't see the injustice that you have inflicted not only on yourself, but what you have inflicted upon other mothers and fathers who have that child, who have that son. But yet still, you don't see it though. I can't make it out. So these are the questions you need to ask yourself. What are you going to do, boyfriend, girlfriend, if stuff start hitting the fan? They close down all these stores and fast food, but your girlfriend can't cook. I don't understand when y'all brothers and sisters gonna wake up and smell the coffee, because this information I'm dropping you is jewels, so that way y'all know what's going on. Nor do I think boyfriend and girlfriend will ever be ready to make a huge commitment of settling down, because they want to be promiscuous. They want to go sleep with other partners and all this other stuff. We gotta make sure we gotta do the right thing and make better choices of who we want to have mother with. Open up your eyes, open up your heart and mind, and start thinking. Don't listen to all this politics because all it is going to lead you astray. Cars. But we got to make for sure that we have our goals lined up and we meet those goals. Every foundation leads to prosperity and non-prosperity. So when are we going to justify? When are we going to change to do better? The only thing I want for the young people is I want them to remember this show. Because you got a lot of information. Ready for it. Anytime you see a man who walks like he's going on a catwalk as a woman, or you tend to challenge his skin complexion because he's either pale or he's pink right now. Crack open a book, start doing some research, start doing some homework, and then you begin to see the same things I see. People want to see a stop sign or a stop light, and they want to hit the goal, but they see green, they want to stop. See how totally polar opposites of how the mind is being constantly manipulated to believe something that is not true. This is something that I usually tend to ponder on and look at where I didn't play a part or play a role in any of it, but a lot of it has something to do with divorce and separation. It takes a toll on the worst enemy you have is yourself. And you have to question your second way of thinking to better your condition. Once you pause, break for a moment, family. Peace. Hold on. Yes, that's what it's about. Do you believe in love and the promise that it gives? I want to love you for life because your love is why I live. So tell me with you, do you believe in love and the promise that it gives? I wanna love you for life, 'cause your love is why. Yeah, that's the question. Do you really believe in love? And that's important. Turn that belief into faith, because faith without works is dead. And I I love my brothers and sisters out there, but in order for to have a good relationship, you gotta not only have a good relationship with mom and pop or whoever in your family, whoever raised you, but you have to have a good relationship with yourself. I can't make this up. Have a relationship with yourself and be able to give someone else your attention and giving yourself the attention as well is what helps make the relationship strong and communication. Living for yourself is selfishness if you got someone there who is willing to bend over backwards for you and do the similar things that your mom do for you. Cook, wash your clothes when you're sick. You go to her and she nurses you to health. I mean, the your mom is the one who raised you, but then again, when you find that special someone who carries that same energy that your mom carry, she passes the torch of having someone else like her to a certain degree to care for you and love for you. Same thing with a father. A father passes down what he knows so that way his son can be able to be a good provider for his wife and be there for her and be a good listener. That's one thing I do know. Going to bed angry is one of those things you do not do. You can wake up the next day and you can be angry and your spouse just passes away. And all of a sudden now you have resentment, regrets, and all this other stuff. And this is why it's important to have a good relationship with yourself, your family, and that have been knowing you for all these decades, but also having a good relationship with your spouse. So when man puts Allah God first, he's putting his wife first with two and his children, because those that wife and children came from Allah. It was ordained for him. And once people start understanding that, then there is no separation between you and the Most High Allah, because my Father and I are one. Jesus said. That's what he said in the scripture. Man's idea is his God. What's his God today is not his God tomorrow. So you need to really constantly ask yourself these questions. What are you doing while you're in this relationship? You got a wife who is beautiful, head to toe and all that stuff. You know, she keep her hygiene up. You know what I'm saying? She's caring, she's loving. You know what I'm saying? When you have problems, you know what I'm saying, she will be listening to you. And she has the most kindest, sweetest words, like the breath of fresh air on a hot, humid day. You know what I'm saying? Her words are as sweet as honey, as the beehives pollinate the flower to make the honey. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Because once we debase ourselves from the truth, that means we have turned our back on Allah, and we seek the other master, which is the deception, which is the lower self. So the lower self meeting place is not in the ground, which is hell. The lower self meeting is the mind. Because we have two selves. We have the higher self and the lower self. And once we start understanding these things, then we can be able to understand where we stand with ourselves and how do we correct our personal problems and issues, our insecurities and stuff. What causes a person to be insecure? Broken relationship. Broken relationship with who? Mom and pop. Grandma, grandpa, auntie, uncle. They see it and they repeat the script. And all in all, this is of the devil. When my brothers and sisters are going to start thinking for themselves? That's the question. Husband who seeks a wife seeketh a good thing. Seek friendship with her. Be her friend. That's all I got to say to you, is be her friend. And that's what it's about. These are things that a husband and wife should say to each other before they get married. Do you believe in love and the promise that it gives? I want to love you for life because your love is why I live. That's powerful. Seriously. Hold on, family. In order to get to that level of love, it starts with self. It has to be taught. It has to be taught by mom and pop. It has to be demonstrated through mom, pop, auntie, uncle, grandfather, grandmother, etc. Then it has to be passed down to the little children. And then once you understand your role and how it's supposed to go and how you're supposed to talk to each other, not yell, talk at each other, which is yelling and speaking hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, stuff, and everything that harms. That's the problem. And not listening to each other. I can't make this up. I truly can't make this up because the brothers and sisters out there fail to understand what communication is. Because we're under this European psychology that this modern day Jim Crow boyfriend, girlfriend, that's how the slave master be talking. And that's a demonstration. That's not ours. Setting the foundation. Remove the shoes before you enter the house. Bless the house. Go brush your teeth, wash your face. Make yourself presentable, make yourself smell good. Go greet the missus. Kiss her on her hand and bow to her. She kisses you on your hand, she bows to you as well. This is the Moorish culture. This is the Moorish American way. Not the other way. Not the European way. Not the other society way or whatever you want to call it. We Moorish Americans, when we seek a wife, we seek a good thing. She know how to cook, clean, sew, and all that, and give us babies. Oh, praise Allah. The joy that from the mother gives life is a joy to us. It's a joy from both of us to have this child being birthed into the world. It's a joy. No, we're not going to no sperm bank. No, we're not getting no surrogate mother. No, we're not getting no test tube baby. No, we're not doing none of that. We're doing it ourselves. We're not depending on Rome. Why? Because they roam to and fro the earth, seeking whom they devour with their own ideas and their own hidden agenda and their own European psychology. Their so-called whiteness about them, because they call themselves white because they want to be superior to the so-called Negro blacks in college. But we are actually Moorish. We're not Hebrew Israelites. We're not none of that. No, nay. You know how many times the Hebrew Israelites disobeyed Allah? Yeah, well, that's his name in Aramaic. Yeah, for real. Look it up. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? The Most High turned his back on them. So I choose not to be a Hebrew Israelite. Forget that. I'm not the son of Esau. Nay. I'm a Moor. I come from the ancient Moabites, Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites. That's who I come from. The seed of Ham. Abraham. Ibrahim. Mohammed. Ham. You hear the ham in there. You see the ham in there. No, not the ham, not the pork. No, I'm talking about Ham, Cush, Ham. You see it in the names. Names is being translated from bloodline. So now you begin to understand why Solomon had 700 wives. It's to unite the Asiatic nations. He had abundance of children even. That is being passed down from that generation during that time to over 2,000 years ago to our modern day generation. Now we got the last name Medina. But for all those people out there who are from Saudi Arabia, you know exactly what I'm talking about. All those people who speak Arabic, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what the word Medina means? Medina is not a Spanish name. Medina means city in Arabic. I can't make it up. I study Arabic. I'm a student. I'm a student of Espanol. I may not know a whole bunch of words, but I can put two and two together. The same thing I ask these people They don't even know what it means. You're fluent in Spanish, but you don't even know what the word Puerto Rico means. You don't even know what the word Costa Rica means. Wow. So that means you're just learning language, just learning, just to speak it, just to communicate, but you're not getting the true foundation of the word, the understanding of these words, and then how these people are being classified. Say, oh yeah, the Puerto Rican nation, man, fire burn the Puerto Rican. There is no such thing as Puerto Rican nation. It don't exist. Just like black, Negro, colored, Afro-American, African-American, Latino, Chicano, Hispanic, all these names that delude of slavery, they don't exist. It was just made up. It was made to denounce the state of mind of the people who have nationality, to denationalize them and give them a sub-name and a subculture, which has no roots to going back to being called what their true nationality is. And nationality is the order of the day, because this is how you can use your foundation to raise your family. This is how you can talk amongst the sister that you want to court about nationality and culture. Think about that. Right? Because everything I'm speaking about is all in tune. The L's and Bays. Why? Because of the Moors of the wills and ways. When there's a will, there's a way. The will represents the L's. E-L. Bays. Not B-A-E. Not the dumb. No, not that. The Bay. B-E-Y. Yeah. The one who governs. I have nothing against the Bays. I love the Bays. I love my L's and Bays brothers and sisters. I do. I do, wholeheartedly. That's how I roll. But in order to have love, you must have understanding. You have to have understanding what love is, how the characteristic grows, how to separate yourself from a situation, how to be peaceful, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. That's what it's about. So now the question is, where is your mind at? There's nothing wrong with nationalism. Proclaiming your nationality is a God-given birthright. I ain't never met a white person a day in my life. You know what a conspiracy is? White people with black writing. The white represents inferior. The black represents, I stand corrected. White represents superior and black represents inferior. So just remember, when you're calling yourself black, you're calling yourself inferior. And when you're calling them white, you're calling them superior to you. So explain to me, how are you going to base your foundation of calling yourself black and having a good, fruitful marriage? I mean, yeah, Farrakhan does it pretty well, but not everybody's Farrakhan. Not everybody, you know what I'm saying, want to proclaim their nationality. Not everybody want to do the right thing and take upon what is rightfully theirs. I speak the truth. I speak what's on my heart. I speak what I've read, and I navigate off of that. And I unfold. I study. Show myself approved. That's what I do. I contemplate. I make my steps. I make my mistakes. I stand corrected when I'm wrong. Islam. This is how a brother and sister should be. Stand corrected when you're wrong. Don't boy down, man up. Don't girl down, woman up. Own up to what you have done is wrong and make a speedy reparation. This is why the Moorish Sybil of America was founded by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, because it was for the upliftment of fallen humanity. Not fallen physically, but fallen mentally. Mental slavery, which is a modern day thing. But y'all don't hear me though. Some of y'all out there hear me, some of y'all just ain't hearing me. Let's get it right, family. So we've been live for about going on an hour. It's time to cut this live short. And remember, the true thing about relationship is having a good direct relationship with your Father God Allah, no middleman. No, you don't need Jesus to pray through Jesus. You talk to Allah. You can speak directly. Because the Messiah said, what I shall do, all men shall do, and better. What I shall be, all men shall be, and better. My Father is greater than I. My Father and I are one. Why? Because he's on his higher self. He's in tune. So I'm going to spit the facts what it is. So Islam, peace and blessings, family. I am out. I got other things I got to do, but here comes your live for the hour. Peace and love. Might go live later on. Islam. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day for the Holy Prophet, Juali. Islam. Peace and love.